My name is Ben. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Beacons in Space. This is John. He's the chief architect and co-founder of Beacons in Space. We have two other members of our team who aren't here right now, so we have a team of four. We're a local Boston startup. Beacons in Space provides app developers with access to existing Beacons infrastructure that's already been deployed. So how many people in here, just raise your hand, know what an ibeacon is? Okay, cool. So a beacon, it sort of acts as like indoor GPS. It's a small Bluetooth transmitter, like that purple one you see up there. And what it does is it constantly emits a signal that can be picked up by a phone when the phone is in proximity to that signal. So you can think of a beacon being tied to, say, a product in a retail store, and when a consumer comes near that product, you can maybe push them a discount for 20% off of the pair of shoes to their left. Right now, there are thousands of companies deploying beacons in retail stores, in restaurants, you name it, all over the country, all over the world. But there's a big problem. The problem is that app developers, the layman, the average app developer out there, really can't get access to these beacons or use them without spending tons of money and time, labor time, deploying them in the real world. So here's a few use cases for beacons. Food and drink apps can prompt you with a review when you walk in to a store. They can eliminate blind GPS gaps in places like cities. If they're deployed around street furniture, bus stops, outdoors, things like that, or even indoors for indoor location, and a few more. But here is actually, so what Beacons in Space does is we aggregate beacon networks that are being deployed by companies all over the world, all over the nation. So we aggregate them and we provide them to app developers through a marketplace so that they can just use a simple API and get access to any beacons they want, whether that be in retail, restaurants, wherever that may be. So here's a quick look at the beacons we have right now. We have over 32,000 on the platform. We're in beta, and then here's a quick view of the United States. So what we're going to do is show you a quick overview of our dashboard that allows you to browse for, beacon networks. These are a bunch of beacon networks. Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Seattle, all in restaurants. You can zoom in. Actually, John, want to zoom in there? Sure. So let's zoom into Boston real quick. Actually, that'll be easier. And we can show you some of the beacons that are actually deployed in Boston. So, throughout the city, there's probably a few near the Nerd Center. And a developer can go in, and John, if you can click Boston, and see just sort of an overview of the establishments in Boston and subscribe to that network. Once they subscribe to the network, they can view the beacons on that network. So if you view your network, maybe scroll down to Boston, and they can view all of the basically metadata that we have aggregated on every single beacon. So what establishment type, where in the establishment is it, what type of establishment is it, what floor is it on, and developers can use these for pretty much anything they want. So what we're going to do right now is give you a quick demo. We've got 3 beacons deployed around here, and what I'm going to do is let's just pretend that this is like a restaurant or a bar, and we just subscribe to it in Boston, and I'm going to walk around and show you guys, like as if I was walking around like the inside of a bar. You'll see different areas in the bar where I enter or where I walk to. So give me just a sec here. Cool. All right. So, first off, I am hanging out over here. I'm gonna go to the dance floor. I'm dancing a bit. I'm at the dance floor. Oh, woo! Now I'm gonna go over to the dining room because I got hungry and I want to eat because the bar also has a dining area. So now I'm looking for dining. I'm looking for food. I'm eating food. And next up, I'm going to go to the bar and get a bite or get a drink at the bar. And you can see the data come in. Oh, I didn't get bar? Well, bar's right here. Oh, now. No, no bar. But you get the point. So basically, what we do is we provide app developers with this information, and they can subscribe to this information that are tied to every single beacon in the real world. And we're open for questions. Oh, right here.
You mentioned hospital applications. So what do you have any active hospital, or what do you envision in the hospital?
We don't have any active hospitals right now. That's a unique one because usually we look for places with like high foot traffic, social places. So like where a lot of apps could potentially use that beacon. Like let's say you're a social app and you want to connect someone in like a bar to another person in a bar, or at a networking event like this, you want to match up people with similar interests and make them connect because there's a beacon in the room. But hospitals, we don't have any right now. Yeah. Pricing model is usage-based. So we charge app developers starting at about 1/10 of a cent per beacon hit, and then that scales, as you're larger.
If I'm a customer of yours and I want to look at getting restaurants on board with my app, and I tie into 50 restaurants in Boston that have beacons in space, but then I go sign a client that has 10 locations, none of which have beacons on your network, what kind of support do you provide to help me get access to those locations, aside from me just having the phone on?
That's something we've thought about. Is working? Yeah. That's something we thought about. There may be a way to sort of contract another person who's deploying beacons and say, hey, we have this gap here. And there's a strong demand for putting beacons in these places. And so we want you to fill that gap, and here's the potential return that you already get. Something like that. But right now, something like said, so yeah.
Do you have any museums on your list?
So museums are really popular. There's actually an app or a company in Boston called Museum, which focuses on, they place beacons in museums, and if you think about it, if there's a beacon next to a painting, you can walk up to the painting and get, on your phone, you're in front of that painting, you can get an entire, history or background on that painting just right on your phone. So there's a lot of interesting use cases for that. Nothing yet, but I expect some museums to have it in the future, definitely. Yeah.
So my understanding, which might not be correct, is that most establishments that put in iBeacons are doing so for the use of their own app.
Correct.
What's in it for an establishment to join this network and allow other apps, potentially competitors, access to their beacon?
Yeah, so that's a great point. We have a blacklisting model. So the way it typically works is you'll have like one company that will deploy beacons at scale, right? You look for larger companies that will deploy like hundreds of these things, thousands of these out there, instead of just one guy that has a beacon. So we pass some of the revenue that we get to the beacon owner, and then that turns down to the establishment.
Are beacons categorically specific, or can you have one that would feed out information for a restaurant, hospital, taxi?
So it's all about the data that sits in the cloud that's tied to that beacon. A beacon it's a really dumb device, actually. It's just constantly pinging a unique identifier. And then that identifier is tied to a set of data in the cloud. So we're, almost, you can think of us as like a broker of not only those identifiers to get access to the beacon, actually see it with your app, but it's also all that data that's tied to the beacon. So, it's, just, does that make sense?
It depends on the beacon.
Depends on the beacon, yeah. Any more questions? Sure.
So is there a vetting process for the companies who will give access to this information? Because I can have a very famous app like Flappy Birds or something. I can subscribe to all the beacons you have and basically track everyone, right?
Sure. Like track, what do you mean track everyone?
Track people.
Well, it's not really like tracking people. The way we think about it is sort of like if Flappy Birds wanted to say connect two users, let's say that like Flappy Birds gave a feature, but they had like a multiplayer thing, and then they.
Not exactly like that, but someone who really wants to keep track of people can actually use this tool to basically track people, right, without them knowing.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, same with location services and GPS, right? So, I mean, you can track someone with GPS, the same idea. You still have to go through the whole opt-in process where, yes, allow to track my location in the background, even when my phone, even when my phone's in the background. That whole opt-in process still applies to beacons. So
is there a vetting process to filter out companies not?
the only vetting process we have like for apps is, let's say you're blacklisted. We need to know what app you are if you're going to join. So, because you might be blacklisted by, like, one of your competitors might own a beacon network, and they don't want you to use their beacon network. So, that's what we have to blacklist.
And in terms of that, really, the information that we know about the anonymous user is just a special ID. It's like XYJ345. It's not like we know your name or anything about you, not even any metadata. We don't know your age, your gender. It's literally, it's something that looks like this. It's this is an example of what we might know.
It's basically just a UUID and
yeah. So yeah, that's like what advertisers use, things like that. They just use that.